welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaQual Scott, and today we are reviewing The Iron Claw, a film that was written and directed by Sean Durkin. And it was like co-produced by the BBC, which I was like, this is interesting.
I did notice that in the lead-in, but I wasn't sure what the connection was. Has Sean Durkin done other things with the BBC?
I have no idea. I do know that at least two people in the cast are British. So Lily James and Harris Dixon. He was actually in Triangle of Sadness, and he plays David in this film. He just has a terrible wig, which we will get to in the score.
You know what? I thought he looked familiar, but I couldn't figure out why. Actually, I would say that about a lot of the people in it. They look familiar, but I couldn't figure out why.
Yes.
The father looked very familiar.
Mm-hmm. The mother looked very familiar.
Yeah. The mother, though, I feel like I was closer to recognizing her from other things than I was anyone else. I haven't watched any of the other things, right? I haven't watched things that Zac Efron is in. I haven't watched things the guy from The Bear is in. Like, I haven't watched The Bear. So.
Oh, you're missing out.
No, it's on the list, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But this makes me want to watch The Bear more.
It's very good. I love it.
Awesome. I'll move that up on the list.
And Zac Efron in The Beach Bum is very good.
Okay. I still think of him as like a teenager.
Yeah, because he started off with like the Disney films, the High School Musicals, which I've never seen. Yeah, and then he did the remake of Hairspray. Yeah, I think the last film I saw him in was The Beach Bum, which I think is completely different from, like, there's no singing, dancing. It's Matthew McConaughey, Snoop Dogg, Martin Lawrence, Zac Efron it's a film about South Florida.
Okay.
It's pretty wild.
All right. But I thought he did a good job in this.
Yes. I hope to, as soon as I walked out, I was like, oh, he gave everything, like the tears, and the physical performance is just completely wild, like a very big transformation. I walked out and I was like, oh, I think this is going to be his Academy Award nomination for. He did a lot. I feel like all these actors did a lot, or all the actors who played the brothers did a lot.
Yeah, agree. Just preparing for the role, right?
Yes.
At least, I guess he and the guy from The Bear, for sure. Yes. Like the other two were kind of like less, I guess,
bulky.
Yeah. The one who plays the who plays the guitar, like he seemed like the most normally structured person.
Yes. They were like on the total like Marvel workout plan, because I'm like, it's either special effects are really great, or there's no way that, prepping for this and then probably being in between projects. Like, I can't imagine Jeremy Allen White being the Bear, filming the Bear, and being that, like, having that muscle mass in like a cooking uniform. So, yeah.
Although I am frequently surprised at how normal people look in street clothes. And then when you see them at the gym, you're like, oh my God, like that person looks like that all the time. But in street clothes, you can't tell at all.
Yeah.
Like, what was the guy's name? I think did he recently pass? Who was in The Wire? He was Lieutenant Daniels.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
That guy was like super cut, but in his like normal clothes, he just looked like a normal person. I don't know. So yeah, sometimes I am surprised at how much normal clothing can hide.
Jack bodies. It's the oil. It's like the oil or the bronzer and the stuff that they like put on themselves to define.
Yeah, it's makeup, just like anything else.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the slide. So you went 24/5 on this one, and I was lower.
I did. I'm like actually surprised. I thought that you would like this film because it's a biopic. It's very dramatic. It's like, it is very much like a modern tragedy, not knowing anything going into it. It's just like, oh, but I do have to point out the hair and makeup, specifically the hair, is like Razzie material. I can't believe, like, I love the costuming. I thought it was amazing, but I use hair as a marker of time. Some people use glasses. I use hair, and I don't know what they did in that department, but there's so many talented people that could have helped out. The hair was absolutely terrible. And not only that, I don't think it was very, very true to form, or even trying to equivocate to the real people that they were trying to portray. So it was a mess for me.
Now, did you know much about that family before you saw this movie?
No, I did not.
I
How
didn't.
about you?
No, I never watched wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had never heard of this family. I didn't even really know about the structure of how wrestling was back then. That was like very regional. All I knew about wrestling was honestly what the way it's structured today, which is it's this big organization that's run by like one company. I just sort of assumed it was always that way. But so I learned a little bit from watching
Mm-hmm.
this movie, but I'm always a little bit skeptical about the things that you learn when you're watching a movie. It's like, is that real or is that for the movie?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I
So,
think this film had a lot of those moments.
yeah, I'm sure.
Again,
I
like, you couldn't tell how time passed.
I did read though after I watched the movie about a little bit of an article about the family and how there were several brothers and that most of them died tragically and that there was one, Kevin is the surviving one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's very moving, right? Like in terms of a story. Because I'm not a wrestling fan, because I didn't know much about the family, I wasn't like terribly engaged with the story. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
good. I would recommend it to someone if they were wrestling fans. But I
Okay.
probably wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
Okay. I thought I would recommend it to people who wanted to see a good biopic, or I guess not a bio, something that's based off of a true story, even though there were untruths in terms of like the pacing of time and like the omittance of characters, or like, I understand that things need to be condensed for time, and some other circumstantial things. I thought it was overall, like, if you wanted, this is a great movie to defer to for, there are really cool shots and cinematography that I really, really liked. And the costuming, I thought the costuming was very good. I can see, people who are super interested in wanting to know how people dressed in the late 70s, early 80s. It's great. Even the callbacks to to the local and regional promotions that were on TV were actually really cool to see again. And I like that aspect. I think that it's just so hard to see things like that now. For the most part, television viewing and is decentralized. Like, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, you used to sit in front of a TV, you would watch all the promos, you would see all these really cool special effects that were new. And I just feel like I haven't seen those types of things in like a very long time. So it was really cool to see that. Like, oh, that's cool. They used to do that. And it used to be fun and it used to be an event. I really enjoyed that aspect of this film.
Yeah, that was cool. I did like the when they would go to the ESPN announcer. I was like,
To do
wow,
their promos.
yeah, that is what that used to look like. I think it's hard for a
Mhm.
drama to be like super high because you have so much competition in the drama genre, right? Like you're competing with Golda from last year in terms of like what's the average, and like that was a great movie. It was a very large scale overview of
Production.
kind of her like. So I think it's a hard thing to do is compete against other dramas.
Mhm.
But there were things about the movie that surprised me. One is I felt like Zac Efron did a really great job. Jeremy Allen White, I hadn't seen him in anything before, but I want to see the bear more now. So there were a couple things that like I came away from thinking this was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, do you have anything to plug in this episode?
So on the list, American Fiction, in Maestro.
Yes. We will talk about those soon. I don't have anything to plug. I don't think. I'm going to see 2046 this weekend.
At Metrograph, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Just kind of try to get back into a normal schedule after the holidays, which is amazing. But the holidays are over. So now, and then we've got another short week coming up too. So that's something to look forward to.
Yes, definitely.
And then award season, of course. We'll have lots of stuff to talk about then, I'm sure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.